Okay, so let's unpack this whole bigger is better thing in tech.
Yeah.
You've probably heard the buzz about Apple's new iPhone and Apple Watch, right?
Yeah.
Larger screens, everyone's going crazy for them. But is it really all it's cracked up to be?
Well, the source material we're looking at today seems pretty hyped about the Apple Watch Series 10's bigger screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're calling it a game changer, especially when it comes to using apps and typing on it.
I can see that, I guess. Like, no more squinting at tiny buttons.
Exactly. But here's the thing. They also point out that a lot of the watch faces, they aren't designed for these bigger screens yet.
Oh, so it's like, what, a lot of wasted space for now?
For now, yeah. Developers are going to need some time to really take advantage of all that extra real estate.
Makes sense. Now, what about the iPhone 16 Pro? What are they saying about that?
Well, they say the bigger display is definitely noticeable, for sure, but it's not like some massive game changer,
Not a revolution.
Yeah, exactly. More space, yeah, but not really a whole lot of new stuff you can do with it, at least not yet.
And that's the thing, isn't it? It's like having a bigger canvas, but if you don't change how you paint.
You just end up with a bigger version of the same old picture.
Exactly.
It actually reminds me of when the first iPad came out. Everyone was blown away by the size, but then it was like, okay, now what? Took a while for apps to really use all that space well. Feels like we're in that same spot now with these bigger iPhone and watch screens.
So for our listeners out there, it sounds like if you're all about having the latest Apple gadgets, then sure, these bigger screens are pretty appealing. But
don't expect miracles right away.
exactly. Got to see if developers can really make those bigger screens shine.
And, this whole bigger screen thing, it's not just Apple, is it? It's like everything's getting bigger these days. Folding phones, massive tablets. Makes you wonder, are we giving up portability and convenience just for a few more pixels? What's that going to mean for battery life, for how long these devices last? Things to think about.
Yeah, it's like, how big is too big?
Mm.
At what point does it become more trouble than it's worth?
That's the million-dollar question. I think it all comes down to balance. Finding that sweet spot where a larger display actually makes for a better user experience, not just a bulkier one.
Right. I mean, think about the apps you use the most. Would a bigger screen actually improve them? Or would you rather see cool new features, better software, things like that?
Exactly. These are all things to consider as we're moving into this brave new world of larger and larger screens.
Definitely gives us a lot to think about. Well, thanks for joining me today. It's always a good discussion.
My pleasure, as always. And hey, who knows what the future holds, right? Maybe these big screens will lead to amazing new innovations we haven't even imagined yet.
Only time will tell.